Dear friends, welcome to Learning English with Captain Binoy Varagal, Assistant Professor, Department of English, St. Joseph's College, Devgiri, Calicut, Kerala. In fact, we learned phonetics and phonology, and we learned a lot of concepts from phonetics. We know what phonetics is, we know what phonology is, we have studied about phonemes, we studied about the vowels of RP, received pronunciation, and we know how we describe or define the vowel sounds of received pronunciation. Afterwards, we also studied the cardinal vowels. We know about the very concept of cardinal vowels developed by A.M. Bell and Daniel Jones. And we know how to locate the primary cardinal vowels and the secondary cardinal vowels in the cardinal vowel chart. Okay, afterwards we studied the vowels of received pronunciation RP, and we know where to locate the pure vowels, the 12 pure vowels in the cardinal vowel chart. After that, we studied about the diphthongs of RP. We know that there are two types of diphthongs, the closing diphthongs and the centering diphthongs, which are also called the rising diphthongs and the falling diphthongs. And now, today in this lecture, we are moving forward to a new area, which is of course an extension of the area on diphthongs. And we learn today about triphthongs. We have to understand the concept in phonology or phonetics, which is known as triphthongs. Triphthongs. So let's understand the term triphthong first. Triphthong, the very word means, it literally means three sounds, or rather it means with. Triphthong means with three sounds. With three sounds. Triphthong. And we literally say triphthong means with three sounds. But in phonetics or in phonology, we have to understand the fact that triphthong is not considered three phonemes. A triphthong is a single speech sound. That is the most important and a fact we have to keep in mind. It's a single phoneme. A triphthong is a single phoneme. It's a single speech sound. This is the first thing we have to understand. And now let us come to the very concept of the triphthong. So we know about the pure vowels. Pure vowels are phonemes in the articulation of which the tongue takes single position. Say, for example, in the word see, we have in transcription, C is S, E, and we know that E, the long sound, the front, close, unrounded long sound is a single phoneme. It is a single phoneme, and it is what is known as a monophthong. It's a monophthong, or this is in fact a pure vowel. That is what we have to understand. So is in fact a consonant, alright, and the E sound is, it is a pure vowel. It is pure vowel because it is just having a single tongue position. But let's look at another word, and that word is, alright, we have the word H-E-R-E, which means he, which is pronounced here, here, and in this word here we have the diphthong, that is of course EA. It is a diphthong. It's a diphthong. We call it diphthong because the tongue is just gliding towards, right, the position required for another vowel, and we call it a diphthong. Diphthong. Okay. Two tongue positions we have. Two tongue positions. That is EA, and we call it a diphthong. But we are discussing not a pure vowel, not a diphthong, but a triphthong. And what is a triphthong? A triphthong is a sound in the articulation of which the tongue is gliding from one sound position from sound position A in the mouth cavity to sound position B in the mouth cavity, and to, of course, the position required for a third sound. So sound A, sound B, and of course sound 1, 2, and sound the third sound we have, that is of course C. Alright, so the tongue is gliding from one position to a second position and again to a third position, and such a sound which is articulated with three tongue position is called a triphthong. For example, let's look at a word which is of course our. We have the word our home, our college, our house. We have our. In our, let us transcribe. It is our. Okay, our. It is our. Can be audible sometimes. If it's followed by a vowel sound, is audible. Otherwise, is not audible. Hence, we keep it in, of course, bracket. What does it mean? Sometimes is audible when it is immediately followed by a vowel sound, like our English professor, right? Alright? But our car is not audible. So here, okay, our, we have our, and in this particular word our, we have a triphthong, and that triphthong is our. Alright, from the tongue is gliding from the position required, that is a to u, and again to our. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Such type of a sound in the articulation of which the tongue is taking three positions, we call such sounds triphthongs. Now let's look at another word which is of course having a triphthong. All the time we have to keep in mind the fact that a triphthong is a single phoneme. Although the tongue is gliding from one position to another and to a third, we have to keep in mind the fact that a triphthong is just like a pure vowel, a single phoneme, or like a diphthong, a single phoneme. Alright, now we have the word player, Player, player. Let's transcribe. Again within bracket. Player. Okay, the player kick the ball. The player. Let's look at this is in fact the A sound in this word is a triphthong. Let's understand that. Alright. So this particular diphthong A is followed by another vowel, and it is pronounced or articulated in a sequence, and it is considered a single sound, and such a sound is in fact known as a triphthong. So let's just summarize. What is a triphthong? A triphthong is a vowel sound. It's a vowel phoneme, of course, which is articulated with three tongue positions. And in the articulation of a triphthong, normally closing triphthongs are immediately followed by the central weak sound, like in ow, the diphthong is immediately followed by the and we understand that it is a triphthong, a single phoneme. Similarly, in player, we have the closing diphthong again, a. The closing diphthong a is immediately followed by another central weak sound, and it is articulated a player, and we consider it a single phoneme, but we call it triphthong because we have three sounds or three tongue positions, right? And now, of course, we can look at another word that is, of course, hour. We have hour, or rather, we have, of course, a word like prayer. Okay, in all this, we have three tongue positions, that is a diphthong followed by a vowel sound. And with this, of course, we come to the end of the discussion of this concept, that is triphthong. And we know what a triphthong is. Triphthong is a diphthong, normally a closing diphthong followed by a central sound, which is, of course, a weak sound, that is and it is articulated with three tongue positions. And because of the three tongue positions, we say triphthong. And this is what we have to understand about triphthong. Let us just be able to recognize triphthongs as we read English words. Thanks a lot for listening, and God bless you.